Creating music, making movies, writing novels, painting, and making a living out of it without the fear of intellectual property theft or piracy. I want to live in a Guyana where we can say what we think and write what we think without fear or reprisals, where anyone can participate in the political process without fear of retribution and all our votes will be counted, where no one has to go out of the country for life-saving medical treatment, where no one has to leave the country to be trained to a world-class standard, where agriculture is prioritized and diversified to create and take advantage of 21st century agri-economy. I read recently that Suriname would have taken the very bold step, and maybe not as bold as many other nations, to legalize hemp. And I know that there are many Caribbean island states and European states, and Canada has taken a very bold step to legalize marijuana. And while there are corporations that are making billions, and I will say billions, soon is going to translate into hundreds of billions in revenue from an industry that we in Guyana criminalize. Literally, we are locking people up, putting them in jail for smoking a small joint. And meanwhile, the rest of the world is making billions out of that industry. We are busy clogging up the judicial system, and I would say to a great extent supporting corruption by not literally legalizing marijuana, by not legalizing hemp. And the uses of hemp are tremendous. You could make houses out of hemp. You could fabricate boards out of hemp. You could make clothes. So many medicinal opportunities, and not only medicinal, but I'd say also commercial, financial, every single thing that you could think of exists. And here we are, what I would say, in a stagnant process. There has been no move towards legalization. And I would bet that come election time again, and to my friends in the Rastafarian and those of you who are not, I'm going to tell you, listen carefully. Because come election season, you're going to hear all of these other parties come out there and talk about legalization. But I want to ask you, in 53 years, have they really been serious about that? Have they taken that step? I want to tell you that that is something we are willing to take up. I want to live in a Guyana, a place where we recognize that suicide is not a crime, but the failure of our society. The LJP commits to addressing mental health issues. We can no longer stigmatize those with mental illness. To those afflicted with mental illness, we see you, we hear you, we want to work with you in addressing these issues. I want to live in a Guyana where politicians understand that they need to be seen to uphold the laws and the highest standards of character and service and patriotism. Let me be clear. I am committed to making a difference in Guyana. As a parliamentarian who swears to uphold the Constitution of Guyana, my first act cannot be to break the law. It is with this that I have a firm commitment and obviously principle that I will be giving up my Canadian citizenship status. As a parliamentarian who swears to uphold the Constitution of Guyana, my first act cannot be to break the law. I want to make this abundantly clear. I love Canada. Canada has given me so much that I can never, ever repay. And the diaspora has so much to offer that we can never repay. I'm not leaving Canada because of anger, hate, or anything of the sort. I am taking this position because I do believe that what I have learned in one of the best countries in the world can benefit my homeland, and it is what is required by the laws of Guyana. The PNC would not be the PNC without the diaspora. And I'm not going to apologize for painting it as the PNC, because we all know that all other parties have been subsumed under the guise of APNU. It is just simply the PNC. The PPP would not have been the PPP without the diaspora. The diaspora has a significant amount to offer. And I think it is time that we look at how we could deal with constitutional reform to ensure that our sons and daughters who would have left our shores for whatever purposes are given that opportunity to come back and serve Guyana. And let me tell you a little bit about Canada, a true democracy. In Canada, innovation reigns supreme. Are there ills in Canada? Absolutely. But there is the independent justice system that also is the most powerful institution. And I want you to remember that. They are impartial and completely separate from the legislative branch of government. Unlike Guyana, where the judiciary tend to be a bit more sympathetic towards the government of the day. To all of you who are listening and watching the live stream, I put to you that Guyana cannot achieve all of its goals in a timely manner without you. Guyana needs your skills, it needs your help. But let me also make something clear. If you do come back, it is not to be a part of an elite that looks down on the people who for generations have stayed here. But you are coming home to be part of our motherland's solutions and successes. We have some serious issues to talk about, and I really mean that. As a nation, if we are truly going to develop in a modern nation, we have to be candid, respectful, and have respectful dialogue on how we want to change to get to our future goals. We have to talk about eradicating the colonial legacies of divide and rule, racial chauvinism, where one race thinks it's more superior than the other, reconcile, and forgive our own. No one can do that for us. It is time that we did it for each other and for ourselves. The next election, whenever it will be one of the most important elections in our country's history. Because at the next election, Guyanese people can choose to contribute, to be ignored, continue to support the old stagnant politics of race with no true roadmap to the promised land. And as I speak in front of you, there are people whose sole job is to dissect and obviously, in some cases, discredit my character. It is only to be expected. That is the politics that has evolved here. But I will honestly say it does not have to be. It really does not. I want to quote a strong, global, moral leader. And for those of you who are interested, you could ask me about who the person is at the end of this presentation. But he said, politics and religion are pure institutions. It is people that corrupt them. It is time that we took care of our elders and ensure that their pensions are on time and equal to their contributions in society. And for those politicians that are afraid of retirement, this also applies to you. One of the basic steps to a strong environmental policy is environmental stewardship. Now, we intend on building a recycling plant in Guyana, but unfortunately, the plant, when it's completed, does not cater to recycling politics, nor recycling politicians.
No. No.
It is literally time that we stop recycling political ideologies that continue to hold the nation back. It is time we evolve to a new and more inclusive and innovative Guyana, where parliamentary decorum is restored, because what transpires in Parliament translates to our streets. I would like to ask the press and the public to be patient with us at the beginning of the formation of the LGP. We are in the process of getting the full team together, so initially, we may be a bit slow at getting information out to you, but I will commit that we will get all the information to you in a timely manner. Now, don't ask me what timely really means, because we still have to work out some mechanics of that. I would like to say in advance, thank you to all the people who have already pledged their support to the Liberty and Justice Party. I am really, really humbled by the enthusiasm of our supporters here and in the diaspora. And for all of those watching, I want to say a massive thank you. We have a long road and a lot of work to do, but I'm confident that together we are going to make history. I will work diligently to make our hopes and dreams come true for all Guyanese people. I look forward to the months ahead on the campaign trail, meeting all Guyanese citizens in every region. I want to hear your stories. I want to see your lives. I want to hear your points of views and your ideas for this country. But I am going to give you fair warning, because what I would also like to do is to record that conversation. And I think that is a very important component, because while we talk to people, there are some fantastic ideas that we sometimes miss. And this gives us an opportunity to maybe say, you remember that young lady from Linden, or that person from Borbice, or Aishelton? They had a very great idea. Can we listen to that again? But if we don't record it, then we have no way of really capturing and, what I'd say, digesting the essence of what they're saying. And one of my core responsibility as a leader is to listen to what you have to say, listen to what the people have to say. That way, our policies, as they evolve, will be reflected in what your voices will be reflected in our policies and how we formulate those things. Because it is only with your support and with your voices that we could really transform and shape Guyana's future. It cannot be done in a silo, and I cannot do it. Literally, it is you who have to empower us to do that. Now, before I leave, I only have one other thing to say this evening. I declare the Liberty and Justice Party officially open to serving our beautiful Guyana, to be a constant political presence, constantly working for the betterment of our nation, and to make sure every citizen from the hinterland to the coast are given the opportunity to thrive. I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shuman. We now call on Alia to do her part. Please welcome her. Thank you.
Distinguished guests, special invitees, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Liberty and Justice Party, I would like to thank each and every one of you for taking time off your busy schedule to be present at this historic event. As a youth, I frequently ask myself, how do the leaders of today tell us that we are the future and we're asked to only speak when we're spoken to? How do they expect us to be tomorrow's people when they only speak about the past? How do they expect us to dream out loud and live life to our fullest potential when our dreams are bigger than what they has to offer? As a young person, my aspiration has been constantly changing to adjust to the society that I live in. From aspiring to become a lawyer, doctor, entertainer, to just mainly desiring to be a philanthropist, where I can live, serve, learn, and leave a legacy. After listening to the vision that the Liberty and Justice Party has for Guyana, I am positive, and I'm sure that many of you agree, that the Liberty and Justice Party will bring hope to us, our children, and generations to come. There's a table outside that has membership form for persons that are interested in joining the party. Once again, on behalf of the Liberty and Justice Party, I would like to thank each and every one of you for being here today. And remember, despite of our political status, economical status, and religion status, we are one people, one nation, one destiny. Thank you.
Thank you, Alia. The press is invited to have 15 minutes talk with the presidential candidate, Mr. Lenox Shuman. In that 15 minutes, after that you can have refreshments and then we'll do sticking of the cake. Please feel free to enjoy and indulge yourself. Thank you very much for coming.
Wonderful, wonderful.